Okay, so now that we know we need a bring, let's start going over some of the basics. So this year, my goal isn't to have you guys have the best dogs that can do the best tricks and so on and so forth. I want to have you guys learn how it all works, and how to teach your dogs things. Because if you know how and understand the basics of it, then you'll be able to teach your dogs whatever you want, and the rest is up to you. And so there's gonna be a few new words in here than there was in the past, but with these words you'll be able to understand the rest. So I have Sunday here. You may have seen her. Sunny, come here. And I have my training treats, the small ones. And then, okay, so here she is. And I don't want to admit it because I am a dog trainer, but she is not my pride, and she does not know as much as my other dogs. So we will be learning together. She's not a fresh dog. I will show you some stuff with my chocolate lab goose. He does know pretty much anything. So I'm going to put a small choke chain on her. This one is actually a little bit big. Hers is, I borrowed it to my mom in Exira. So this one is too big, but we're gonna work with it. So you're going to start out with your chain, and you have two ends, and you're gonna drop one of the ends of chain through the hole. Does that make sense? So now it looks like a circle. And now, in order for this to work, we have to put it on correctly. So you want to look at it. You look at it like this. It says P for puppy. Is that cheesy? And then you're gonna go like this, and then that's going to go over her head. If I can get her to participate. Here, puppy. So you're gonna put it over her head. And then when you put this collar on, you're going to take her other collar off. Last year, I think we slid a little bit, and we did have dogs in the ring with a flat collar on and a choke chain, but this year I really want to make it a point that when your dog has a choke chain on, they do not have their regular collar. That allows them to gain the understanding that when they have the choke chain on, they are working. Whereas if one's on, if there's no rhyme or reason, then that doesn't enable them to learn properly. Okay, so if I can show you. She says, Mom, I didn't sign up for this. This is giving them pressure and release. That makes sense. So we put it on like a P, and then it's going across the top of her neck, and then she will be on this side of me. I need more people. Okay, there we go. It is a little bit big. I would only want it to be like 2 or 3 inches longer than her neck. But we're gonna work with it just to show you. And then since she's a small dog, I'm gonna grab the small leash. She's cheating. Got treats in front of me. So when you're working with a dog, or just with dog class in general, you always start at the beginning. So you start with, okay, what's one thing that they need to know? Their name, right? They need to know their name. So I always play the name game to teach them their name, which literally you take your Chewy treat that we got and see she's super interested. It is valuable to her, so she's going to pay attention to me. And I have them handy where I can reach the treats. So I have it, and I'm gonna have her, hold it. I'm gonna go Sunday, and then give her a treat. And I'm gonna hold the treat up by my eye, and what this is doing, Sunday, is teaching her that when I say her name, she gets a treat, and that she needs to look at me. And that's going to make a positive connection between her name and me saying it, and that way she's more likely to look at you and give you her attention when you ask her of it. So again, you just take your treat and you go, Sunday. Yes, good girl. Sunday. And they love this game. This is a good, I'm just playing with my pup at home on the couch. Sunday. Yes. So then once she knows her name, then you need to have a marker word that allows them to know that they're doing good, like a good word. And for that, we use yes, yes. And then that is the word that marks the behavior that you want. And that's the new word this year. This is the one new word. And that really helps you connect everything together. So, for example, to teach yes, you would, the same thing as her name. So you would go, yes. And you just say yes in the same tone of voice as you would be saying it out and about. So if I'm not going to be screaming yes, like yes or yes, when I'm working with my dog, I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to say it exactly how I will be saying it. Because dogs don't necessarily know that you're saying the word yes. They just know that's the noise that they hear. And so you want it to be consistent. So I'm going to say yes. Good. Yes. And you're just going to teach her that yes means treat and yes means good. Yes. 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 Good girl. Is good puppy. So those are the two words. So I might not have went over it well enough. So yes is the word that's going to mark the behavior that you want. So if you're teaching your dog to sit, you would say yes when their butt hits the ground. And that marks that sit means your butt touches the ground. And so when you do that, it allows them to connect it together. And then when you're done, you'll have a release word, and that word will be free. You need a release word because if you do not, then your dog does not know when they are working for you and when they're not, if that makes sense. And when we start working on stays, the release word of free will make a lot more sense. But for example, I'm going to back up here just a little bit. So I'm going to put it all together. Maybe if I can back up far enough. Here. Oh, I must have dropped one. Okay, so I was teaching her down. You would take the treat and you would lure her. So you have it here, and then you have her attention because of the treat, and then you would say down. And then lure her, and when her elbows hit the ground, so right here, yes, good, down, yes, good, down, and you can go ahead and repeat that, yes, good, down, oh, good, good girl. Okay, so we have, okay, so from the top, so I have her attention. Obviously, she's very excited. This is very valuable to her. I'm going to say down. I'm going to lure her down, say yes when her elbows touch the ground. And then if you want her to learn to stay there, you're just going to keep feeding her treats there. And then you release. You say free! Oh! And then you praise your dog. I'm going to show you an example of, do you see how fast she can eat this treat versus a harder chewy treat, or a harder treat? See, that takes her time to eat, and now she's not back into me as soon as she was here. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. That's why what treat you bring is important. Okay, so that is the basics of how to teach a dog a trick, a command. I will get into more specifically in the next videos of each command. Okay, thank you.